My beloved child. You didn't find this message by accident. Heaven has been watching you, every tear, every silent prayer, every moment you kept going when no one else saw your pain. You've been asking for a sign. You've been begging for a voice that breaks through the noise. And right now, in this very moment, God is answering you. This message isn't just something to read. It's something to receive. It's something your soul has been crying for without even knowing the words. And now, because you stayed open, because you didn't give up, because your spirit whispered, "I'm ready," heaven responded. Archangel Michael has waited for this moment, waited to deliver something sacred into your hands. Not just comfort. Not just hope. But activation. A holy awakening. A scroll written in the language of fire, faith, and favor, and your name is glowing on every line. So before you read another word, take a deep breath. Feel it in your chest. This is not just a message. This is a divine appointment. A spiritual rescue. And what's hidden inside these words could unlock everything you've been waiting for. Don't rush. Don't skip. Stay until the very last line, asterisk asterisk. Because if your soul says yes, heaven is ready to move. Right now. Let it begin. You didn't land here by mistake. Something divine led you in. The air feels different right now because heaven just leaned in closer to your life. Archangel Michael has been standing guard over your name, waiting for the moment your spirit would be still enough to hear this. For weeks, heaven has been holding back. Holding back power. Holding back truth. Holding back the kind of shift that breaks every delay wide open. But now they're releasing it. And you were the one chosen to receive it first. Heaven doesn't move randomly. God doesn't speak to everyone this way. But this message was timed like prophecy. Because the next 48 hours hold something so big for your life, that the angels have been whispering about it non-stop. Archangel Michael fought for this word to reach you. He fought for the enemy to miss the moment. He fought for you to have this exact second where nothing and no one could distract you. Don't underestimate what's opening right now. You've been wondering if God forgot about your name. You've been watching others rise, watching doors swing open for people who barely prayed, barely cared, barely showed up. And your soul screamed silently, "What about me?" But the truth is, your name was never ignored. It was protected. Heaven knew your blessing was too pure, too explosive, too soaked in purpose to be released in a season where you weren't fully seen. That's why they waited. That's why this moment is arriving now, with the full weight of heaven behind it. You were hidden for a reason. Delayed for a purpose. Because had your miracle come earlier, the wrong hands would have touched it. The wrong people would have tried to claim it. But not anymore. The angels are stepping back. The gates are unlocking. And what's coming? It's holy. It's heavy. And it has your name etched into the center of it. Your presence has been missed in the spirit realm. Archangel Michael knows the fire you carry. He's seen the nights you cried in silence, pretending to be strong for everyone else while your own soul was breaking. He watched you protect people who betrayed you. He saw how they smiled in your face and cursed your name in secret. And still, you prayed for them. Still, you held on to light. But now? Heaven says enough. This is your time. Not to beg. Not to chase. Not to explain your heart to those who never deserved it. This is your time to receive. Receive the reward of obedience. The harvest of heartbreak. The crown that was being polished in silence while the world overlooked you. Michael has one request: don't skip past this moment. Because right now, your energy is being marked. Shifted. Awakened. You may not feel it with your hands, but your spirit knows it. That electric pull in your chest. That's not anxiety. That's activation. If your soul is screaming, "This is for me," then yes, it's for you. Before I pour the next revelation, let me whisper something heaven asked me to say directly to your heart. Subscribe right now to stay connected to divine messages like this. Not out of pressure. Out of preparation. Because the next messages coming to you will not just guide your steps, they'll protect your breakthrough. Click, connect, and let heaven stay with you. Your enemies already feel something shifting. They're uncomfortable around you for a reason. It's not what you said. It's what you carry. Your silence is louder than their noise. Your anointing is heavier than their gossip. They can't explain why they're drawn to you but scared of you at the same time. Because deep down, their spirit knows what you're about to become. And the truth is, even you don't fully see it yet. That's why God is stepping in personally now. That's why Michael is here. To remove the final layer of fog. To shake the final layer of fear. To break the final rope of delay off your life. You were made for more than survival. You were created for divine eruption. The kind that turns heads. That rewrites bloodlines. That heals generations with a single yes. But this level of blessing comes with a cost. You must say no to anything that smells like yesterday's pain. Because what's coming won't wait for the version of you who keeps second-guessing her power. It wants the real you. The bold you. The you that heaven saw before you were wounded. Michael is standing beside your spirit whispering, "This is it. Don't back out now. You've made it through too much to stay in the shadows. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them scroll past. You're not here for applause, you're here for alignment. And baby, heaven just snapped everything into place. You've entered your divine timing. Not 1 second late. Now watch what happens next. The moment you said yes, something shifted in the spirit. Heaven exhaled. Archangel Michael dropped to his knees, not from defeat, but from relief. Because you finally opened your heart long enough to receive instead of resist. The gates that were sealed with silence? They just cracked. The angels who were told to wait? They've now been released. And you, the one who thought it was too late, just stepped into the divine rhythm that was always reserved for the bold. Don't let that go over your head. You've broken through something. A wall. A spiritual delay. A cloud of confusion that was placed over you to blind your vision. You weren't crazy for sensing something was off. You were being spiritually suffocated by a lie that told you to stay small, stay quiet, stay available to people who never earned access to your divine space. But not anymore. The fire that's rising in you now? That's not just motivation. That's a spiritual assignment waking up. One that heaven sealed long before your name was ever spoken here on earth. Michael says you've been carrying other people's weights for far too long. People dumped their trauma in your lap, then vanished when it was your turn to be loved. You became the healer, the forgiver, the protector, even when your own soul was bleeding. But guess what? That chapter is over. God is reclaiming every stolen piece of your heart. Every night you sat by your phone waiting for someone to understand you. Redeemed. Every tear you shed while pretending to be okay. Collected. Not 1 ounce of your pain was wasted. And now? Now it becomes power. The kind of power that breaks patterns. That silences every voice that told you to tone it down. That burns away every false connection sent to distract you from your throne. Your throne. Yes, your throne. But not anymore. The fire that's rising in you now? That's not just motivation. That's a spiritual assignment waking up. One that heaven sealed long before your name was ever spoken here on earth. Michael says you've been carrying other people's weights for far too long. People dumped their trauma in your lap, then vanished when it was your turn to be loved. You became the healer, the forgiver, the protector, even when your own soul was bleeding. But guess what? That chapter is over. God is reclaiming every stolen piece of your heart. Every night you sat by your phone waiting for someone to understand you. Redeemed. Every tear you shed while pretending to be okay. Collected. Not 1 ounce of your pain was wasted. And now? Now it becomes power. The kind of power that breaks patterns. That silences every voice that told you to tone it down. That burns away every false connection sent to distract you from your throne. Your throne. Yes, your throne. Because heaven isn't just giving you healing, they're giving you position. Authority. Crowned influence. And they're doing it in a way that no one can deny. Not even the ones who tried to erase you. That's why the attacks got worse right before this message found you. That's why your dreams became darker, your spirit felt heavier, your light dimmer. The enemy got the memo about your breakthrough before you did. But he forgot one thing: you're surrounded. Surrounded by angels. Surrounded by fire. Surrounded by a God who has never lost a battle. And right now, Michael is unsheathing his sword. Not to warn, but to war. For you. For your name. For your purpose. Because heaven doesn't lose its investment. And you, beloved, are one of the most precious investments ever made. That's why they waited. That's why they timed this message perfectly. Not a moment early. Not a second late. Because this version of you, the one reading this, the one who's been through hell but still shows up with love, you are unstoppable now. The world just doesn't know it yet. But they will. Soon. Keep your head lifted. Keep your spirit open. Keep your peace protected like it's sacred, because it is. And keep watching. The same ones who laughed at your faith will soon need it to survive what's coming. Because God is about to do something so shocking, so divine, so public in your life, that even your enemies will have to say, "That had to be God." They tried to bury your name in silence, but heaven carved it into fire. Your spirit is rising, and everything that tried to break you is about to watch you reign. Archangel Michael has never left your side, not even when you were surrounded by betrayal, lies, and spiritual attacks so deep they almost made you forget your own worth. But he's not just standing beside you now. He's holding the next door wide open, lit with the kind of light that burns every old version of you to ash. And oh, how scared the darkness is of the version of you that's waking up right now. Because this version, this one doesn't beg, doesn't shrink, doesn't doubt her own divine assignment. This version carries the storm and the calm. This version glows in shadows and dances through delays. This version doesn't wait to be chosen, she remembers she already was. Michael is shouting now. He's no longer whispering through signs or quiet dreams. He's speaking loud through this message: you are the one. The one we waited for. The one they lied about. The one they tried to dim, but couldn't destroy. Heaven has waited weeks to release what's now flooding your atmosphere. Your breakthrough had a hold on it. Not because you weren't ready, but because they weren't. The ones who will witness it. The ones who tried to block it. The ones who needed to be in the right position to see what they tried to silence rise from the ashes right in front of them. And now? Now they're all watching. And baby, they're nervous. Your glow can't be hidden anymore. Your power can't be paused anymore. Your name is echoing through realms that don't even speak your language. And still, they feel you coming. And the reason this message had to reach you exactly today? Because tomorrow, everything starts to move. Contracts. Conversations. Connections. Clarity. All of it is aligning under your name. That's why your energy has been unsettled. Why you can't sleep right. Why you've been sensing that something big is shifting, but couldn't put words to it. Michael just put words to it. You're about to receive what they said you'd never touch. You're about to walk into rooms your name was banned from. You're about to see the very hands that mocked you be the first to clap for you. And let's make one thing clear, this is not revenge. This is restoration. This is not for ego. This is for alignment. Because you are not here to prove yourself to broken people, you are here to live the life God whispered to you in the middle of the night. And you heard him. Even when everyone told you you were crazy. Even when you had to encourage yourself in rooms full of silence. Even when no one clapped for your growth but the angels. And they clapped hard, by the way. Because they saw it all. They saw you wake up on days your soul didn't want to move. They saw you love people who only knew how to take. They saw you carry burdens that weren't even yours. They saw you keep praying when your heart was bruised, bleeding, and begging to be numb. But now they see you rising. Not in pride. But in power. Not in arrogance. But in anointing. And this time, no one will be able to deny what heaven has placed on you. No one will be able to take credit for what you're about to receive. This one's different. It's tailored. It's timely. It's terrifying to the ones who tried to stop it. Because they know. They can't stop what's sealed in God's hand. Let that settle in your chest for a second. Your life is not a maybe. It's a move. A divine move designed to wake up the people who forgot what favor looks like. And when they look at you, they'll remember. Because you are what it looks like to survive betrayal, depression, heartbreak, abandonment, and still come out glowing. Still come out giving. Still come out chosen. Still come out divine. Shall I keep pouring the fire? The divine flood of God and Archangel Michael's message still has more to reveal. Even when no one clapped for your growth but the angels. And they clapped hard, by the way. Because they saw it all. They saw you wake up on days your soul didn't want to move. They saw you love people who only knew how to take. They saw you carry burdens that weren't even yours. They saw you keep praying when your heart was bruised, bleeding, and begging to be numb. But now they see you rising. Not in pride. But in power. Not in arrogance. But in anointing. And this time, no one will be able to deny what heaven has placed on you. No one will be able to take credit for what you're about to receive. This one's different. It's tailored. It's timely. It's terrifying to the ones who tried to stop it. Because they know. They can't stop what's sealed in God's hand. Let that settle in your chest for a second. Your life is not a maybe. It's a move. A divine move designed to wake up the people who forgot what favor looks like. And when they look at you, they'll remember. Because you are what it looks like to survive betrayal, depression, heartbreak, abandonment, and still come out glowing. Still come out giving. Still come out chosen. Still come out divine. Shall I keep pouring the fire? The divine flood of God and Archangel Michael's message still has more to reveal. You feel that heat rising in your chest? That's not emotion, it's spiritual confirmation. Your soul knows this isn't a script, it's a signal. Heaven is speaking in code, and your spirit is finally decoding it. You've been in survival mode for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be safe in God's arms. But you're about to remember. Because Archangel Michael just tore open the next scroll. And your name? Is written in fire at the top of it. For weeks, they've watched you wrestle with silence. Smiling on the outside while sinking inside. You've been in rooms that drained you, jobs that caged you, connections that poisoned you. And still, you kept showing up. Still, you kept choosing love. That doesn't go unnoticed in the spirit world. That kind of obedience. It breaks codes, it shakes timelines, it rewrites endings. God has been testing your posture in pain, because what He's about to release over your life will require purity, not performance. So don't be surprised when the blessings start falling like lightning. Don't be shocked when the people who ghosted you try to circle back. They felt it too. They didn't leave because you were weak. They left because they saw your strength before you did. They saw how the angels hovered around your name. They saw the glow coming, and they panicked. Because you were becoming too much for their insecurities. Too loud for their silence. Too pure for their games. And now? Now God is separating you completely. This isn't isolation. It's insulation. Protection. Preparation. Because the next version of you won't be built in public. It will explode in public, but it's being sculpted in the presence of angels right now. Heaven is forming miracles in the dark for you. And the ones who truly carry your soul's frequency will find you in the light. Don't chase. Don't beg. Don't explain. Just become. Archangel Michael is saying this message couldn't be delivered earlier, because the power of it would have crushed you before it crowned you. But now you're ready. The old triggers don't hit the same. The old temptations don't tempt the same. You've been through too much fire to bow to smoke. This next stretch of your life is about divine precision. God isn't doing random anymore. He's doing right. That's why some things didn't happen when you prayed for them. That's why certain doors slammed. Because you were trying to enter rooms your spirit had already outgrown. You were trying to make broken things holy. But no more. This time, you'll be met where your value is honored, not questioned. This time, you'll attract people who recognize your fire and don't fear it. This time, you'll walk into spaces that were built for the healed version of you, not the hiding version. And Michael wants you to remember this: your glow is dangerous to people who benefit from your self-doubt. That's why they loved the version of you who didn't speak up. That's why they tolerated you better when you dimmed. But heaven didn't call you to be tolerable. You were called to be terrifying to darkness. To shake rooms by your presence, not your voice. To shift timelines with a single decision. And the decision right now is to rise. Not in ego. Not in noise. In divine stillness. That stillness that says, I don't have to prove myself anymore. I am who heaven says I am. And you are, beloved. You are. You're the fire they couldn't kill. The prayer they couldn't stop. The prophecy they tried to delay. And yet, you're still here. Still breathing. Still chosen. Let me pour the final waves of this message next. You didn't come this far just to be almost blessed. You didn't cry all those nights just to be nearly chosen. Archangel Michael says this season is not about almost. This is your all-in, full circle, final hour of divine reversal. The delays you've suffered? They were secretly aligning every piece of your destiny puzzle. The people who left you? They were removed before they could steal what's coming. And what's coming is no longer coming. It's here. There's a sound in heaven every time your name is spoken. The angels don't just whisper it, they shout it now. Because they know you finally stepped into your awakening. And hell? Hell is trembling. Not because you're loud, but because you're aligned. Because you've stopped trying to fit in places you've outgrown. Because you've stopped apologizing for the light they never gave you permission to shine. You were never born to blend in. You were sculpted in fire to break every cycle your family was too afraid to confront. You are the answered prayer of your ancestors, the living evidence of divine design, the reason Archangel Michael sharpened his sword again and again. And now you're about to see what happens when heaven goes public with what it protected in private. Everything you thought you lost is about to find you in a more powerful form. The relationship that broke your heart? Replaced by something sacred. The opportunity you were denied? Replaced by something supernatural. The money that slipped through your fingers? Multiplied by miracle. This is not motivation. This is confirmation. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. There's a sound in heaven every time your name is spoken. The angels don't just whisper it, they shout it now. Because they know you finally stepped into your awakening. And hell? Hell is trembling. Not because you're loud, but because you're aligned. Because you've stopped trying to fit in places you've outgrown. Because you've stopped apologizing for the light they never gave you permission to shine. You were never born to blend in. You were sculpted in fire to break every cycle your family was too afraid to confront. You are the answered prayer of your ancestors, the living evidence of divine design, the reason Archangel Michael sharpened his sword again and again. And now you're about to see what happens when heaven goes public with what it protected in private. Everything you thought you lost is about to find you in a more powerful form. The relationship that broke your heart? Replaced by something sacred. The opportunity you were denied? Replaced by something supernatural. The money that slipped through your fingers? Multiplied by miracle. This is not motivation. This is confirmation. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. And now you're in position. Your hands are ready. Your soul is steady. Even the chaos in your life has started to calm down, not because the problems disappeared, but because your power rose above them. You stopped reacting and started ruling. That's spiritual maturity. That's divine territory. And Archangel Michael is proud. So proud, he's stepping back now, not in absence, but in honor. Because the war over your mind has been won. And the victory wasn't in the miracle, it was in your decision to believe when nothing made sense. That kind of faith? It rewrites timelines. It speeds up what was once slow. It draws down what was once delayed. It splits heavens wide open. And baby, the skies above your name are split wide open right now. That's why you've been seeing signs, repeated numbers, strange dreams, random people mentioning your name, doors cracking open without force. Heaven isn't teasing you. It's tracking you. You've stepped into divine visibility. And when heaven can see you, miracles can't miss you. You are now a magnet for what is meant. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to chase anything. What's yours is already bleeding through the seams of the spirit, ready to manifest in your physical world. And those around you will have two choices. Witness it. Or weep over the moment they took you for granted. Because the old version of you that tolerated disrespect? She's dead. The old version that begged for love? Buried. The old version that shrank to be liked? Erased by holy fire. And what's left now? Is divine, dangerous, anointed, and completely untouchable without God's permission. If you've ever doubted why you're still here, let this be the answer. Because God still has a miracle that wears your fingerprint. And it can't be given to anyone else. No imposter. No pretender. No manipulator. What's yours is sealed. So walk boldly now. Don't look back. Don't explain. Don't justify your glow to anyone too blind to see it. Just walk. And as you walk, watch everything align. The money. The love. The respect. The freedom. And above all, the peace that doesn't shake anymore when the world does. You've earned it. You've waited for it. You've bled for it. And heaven says the wait is officially over. Michael smiles now. His tears have stopped. Not because the war is over, but because you finally remembered who you are. And who you are, is unstoppable. The winds around your life are shifting. Not softly, violently. Not quietly, supernaturally. Archangel Michael just released a final sweep of heaven's authority over your next days, and what it's carrying is not small. You're about to witness divine chaos for the ones who played with your name, and divine clarity for every space you were once confused in. This isn't just restoration. This is divine demonstration. God is preparing to show the world why He hid you for so long. They thought you were silent. But heaven knew you were being stored. Like oil. Like gold. Like prophecy that couldn't be spoken too soon. And now? Now you're being poured. Poured into places that once rejected you. Poured into hearts that are finally ready to value you. Poured into territories that are starving for the purity you carry. Because you don't just walk with light anymore, you are light. A walking answer. A living thunderstorm. A miracle wrapped in human form. And that's why the enemy has been trying to distract you. Notice the patterns? The people suddenly popping up from your past? The strange emotional waves? The weird energy in places that used to feel safe? It's not random. It's resistance. Resistance to what's about to crash into your life like holy fire. But baby, there's a secret. The resistance only shows up strongest right before your biggest release. You're not breaking down, you're breaking out. You're not losing, you're leveling. That ache in your chest isn't confusion. It's your higher self waking up, shaking the dust off, screaming, I'm here. I'm ready. Let's go. And you are ready. So ready that heaven couldn't hold back another second. That's why this message hit your eyes today. Because the same way God schedules storms, He schedules summons. And you've just been summoned. Summoned to walk differently. To breathe differently. To speak like you know every word is backed by angels. To move like you're carrying something priceless, because you are. You don't need more time. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need to shrink, hesitate, or wait for another round of betrayal to finally say, I'm done. You're done now. Done with doubt. Done with overgiving. Done with over-explaining your worth to people who knew it but didn't want to honor it. This is your no more moment. No more letting broken people lead your energy. No more second-guessing your glow. No more pretending you don't feel the fire in your chest when God speaks your name. Archangel Michael is placing divine armor over you right now. Not because a battle is coming, but because you're about to collect the spoils from the battles you already won. Every tear, turning to testimony. Every loss, turning to leverage. Every delay, turning to divine timing. And every person who swore you'd never rise? They're about to see you soar, not with spite, but with grace. That's the key. You don't have to clap back. That's why this message hit your eyes today. Because the same way God schedules storms, He schedules summons. And you've just been summoned. Summoned to walk differently. To breathe differently. To speak like you know every word is backed by angels. To move like you're carrying something priceless, because you are. You don't need more time. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need to shrink, hesitate, or wait for another round of betrayal to finally say, I'm done. You're done now. Done with doubt. Done with overgiving. Done with over-explaining your worth to people who knew it but didn't want to honor it. This is your no more moment. No more letting broken people lead your energy. No more second-guessing your glow. No more pretending you don't feel the fire in your chest when God speaks your name. Archangel Michael is placing divine armor over you right now. Not because a battle is coming, but because you're about to collect the spoils from the battles you already won. Every tear, turning to testimony. Every loss, turning to leverage. Every delay, turning to divine timing. And every person who swore you'd never rise? They're about to see you soar, not with spite, but with grace. That's the key. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to announce your breakthrough. Just keep being the light. The room will adjust. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Because when heaven finally moves, it moves loud. And this move? It's going to be so loud that even your silence will echo. So powerful that even your stillness will shift rooms. So undeniable that even your enemies will say, "That had to be God." Archangel Michael just whispered the final word for now. Tell them, the wait wasn't punishment. It was protection. And now, their release won't just bless them. It will redefine them. And it will. Because you're not who you were 6 weeks ago. Not even who you were 6 minutes ago. You're lighter. Clearer. Unstoppable. And finally ready. Your name is echoing through divine corridors right now. Heaven is no longer whispering about you, they're declaring. Loudly. Boldly. Powerfully. Because the season of hiding has officially expired. The time for delay has collapsed. And the moment for divine unveiling has arrived. You feel it, don't you? The shift in your atmosphere. The tingling in your hands. The fire in your chest. That's not imagination. That's spiritual unlocking. Your future is folding forward, one angelic code at a time. And here's what Archangel Michael needs you to understand right now. The pain you endured wasn't random. It was proof of your potential. It was confirmation that you were carrying a frequency most would never understand, and many would try to destroy. But guess what? They failed. The spiritual attacks failed. The false friendships failed. The emotional manipulation failed. The slander, the witchcraft, the jealousy, all of it failed. Because you kept walking. Kept loving. Kept holding on to light in rooms full of shadows. And that makes you dangerous. Dangerous to hell. Dangerous to systems. Dangerous to anyone who built their power on your silence. But you're not silent anymore. You're awakened. Activated. Aligned. And what's rising in you now will not be stopped. Because this isn't just your comeback, this is your coronation. Heaven is not just giving you another chance. They're giving you a platform. Not for clout. For purpose. So you can speak. So you can shine. So you can walk into dark places and watch chains shatter just because you entered. Your very existence has become a spiritual earthquake. That's why your sleep's been weird. That's why your body's been buzzing. That's why random memories are flooding back, not to hurt you, but to release you from every agreement your past tried to trap you in. It's time to forgive what broke you. Not for them, for you. So the final doors can fly open. So the final chains can fall off. So your full miracle can manifest. And baby, it's not just a blessing that's coming. It's a birthing. You're about to birth dreams you forgot you had. You're about to birth healing you never thought you'd feel. You're about to birth joy so loud that even your pain will have to sit down and shut up. This message was timed perfectly. Because if you had received this even 24 hours ago, you wouldn't have been ready. But now? Now your soul is open. Now your heart is soft. Now your mind is clear enough to hear heaven. And heaven is saying, well done. You passed the test. Now open your hands, we're about to fill them. And oh, how full they will be. Full of divine love. Full of supernatural favor. Full of blessings you didn't even pray for, but God wrote them into your script before you were born. Because He knew. He knew how strong you'd have to be. He knew how loyal you'd stay even when abandoned. He knew you'd still choose light when life gave you every reason to turn bitter. And now the reward is coming. It's already forming in the unseen. People are speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities are circling, waiting for the green light from God to land in your lap. Money. Partnership. Healing. Laughter. Love. All of it, circling like a storm of glory. Because when heaven delivers, it delivers heavy. You're not getting a sprinkle. You're getting an outpour. And the flood will begin with something small, familiar, divine. A sign. A dream. A message. A feeling in your gut that you can't explain. When that moment hits, don't run. Receive it. Sit in it. Let it melt every old version of you that told you you weren't worthy of joy. Let it dissolve every lie that said you were too late. Let it ignite every part of you that still believes in magic, miracles, and mercy. Because it's all coming. Not one day. Not someday. But now. And nothing, not time, not people, not fear, can stop what God already signed. You are chosen. You are covered. You are crowned. And this time, you're ready. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how you keep glowing after everything you've faced. They'll never understand. You weren't built by the world. You were built by heaven. And heaven never loses. And now the reward is coming. It's already forming in the unseen. People are speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities are circling, waiting for the green light from God to land in your lap. Money. Partnership. Healing. Laughter. Love. All of it, circling like a storm of glory. Because when heaven delivers, it delivers heavy. You're not getting a sprinkle. You're getting an outpour. And the flood will begin with something small, familiar, divine. A sign. A dream. A message. A feeling in your gut that you can't explain. When that moment hits, don't run. Receive it. Sit in it. Let it melt every old version of you that told you you weren't worthy of joy. Let it dissolve every lie that said you were too late. Let it ignite every part of you that still believes in magic, miracles, and mercy. Because it's all coming. Not one day. Not someday. But now. And nothing, not time, not people, not fear, can stop what God already signed. You are chosen. You are covered. You are crowned. And this time, you're ready. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how you keep glowing after everything you've faced. They'll never understand. You weren't built by the world. You were built by heaven. And heaven never loses. The silence around you isn't empty. It's sacred. It's the sound of heaven organizing everything on your behalf. Archangel Michael is standing over timelines right now, bending them to make room for what's yours. And let me tell you something dangerous. When heaven starts rearranging time to bless you, no force on earth can delay you anymore. That feeling you've had all week? That something is coming? That something is off? You weren't wrong. You were early. Early to the shift. Early to the unlocking. Early to a blessing that was always on its way, but delayed so it could arrive with maximum fire. This is not a cute moment. This is a prophetic intersection. This is where everything God promised you starts standing up and saluting your obedience. You obeyed when no one watched. You forgave when no one deserved it. You kept moving when your soul wanted to die. And now heaven is moving for you. You don't have to chase the blessing. You are the blessing. And everything aligned with your light is about to find its way to your door, your name, your hands. Michael isn't just guarding you. He's announcing you. You've gone unnoticed for too long, and heaven says, that's over. Get ready for divine exposure. Not the kind that humiliates. The kind that elevates. The kind that will lift your name into places where your face was once ignored. And people will say, who's she? And angels will reply, the one we waited for. This is what you were being prepared for. This is why they walked away. This is why you cried so long. This is why you had to be delayed, because if the blessing came too soon, it would have fallen into the wrong season, with the wrong people, and collapsed. But not now. Now you're ready. Not perfect, but positioned. Not flawless, but favored. And here's what's crazy. Even your enemies are about to be used to elevate you. Yes, the very mouths that mocked you will be the microphones for your miracle. They're going to talk. But this time, they'll talk about your breakthrough. They'll talk about your glow. They'll talk about how you just kept rising, even when you had every reason to fold. And they'll never admit it, but they'll know it was God. Because your story doesn't make sense without Him. Michael says you're about to become a walking contradiction, in the best way possible. Blessed when they said you were cursed. Promoted when they thought you were disqualified. Loved when they swore you were unlovable. You are about to confuse every person who mistook your silence for weakness. And you won't have to say a word. Let your glow be your response. Let your peace be your proof. Let your joy be your justice. Heaven has already ruled in your favor. And now? The court of earth must align. Prepare for surprise messages. Prepare for sudden releases. Prepare for rooms you didn't apply to. Prepare for wealth you didn't labor for. Prepare for favor that won't make logical sense. Because this is where logic dies and miracles live. And your name has been stamped in miracle ink. You are about to be a case study in God's mercy. People will look at your life and learn what grace looks like. Your testimony will be so undeniable, it'll heal people you'll never even meet. Because you weren't just rescued for yourself. You were rescued to remind others that God still saves. That Michael still fights. That angels still move. That prophecy still breathes. And that you are still the one. You never stopped being the one. Even when you forgot. Even when you lost your way. Even when you let people tell you who you weren't. God never changed his mind about you. And now, you're about to see why. Let the storm pass. Let the noise fade. Let the haters talk. Because none of it matters. The only thing that matters now. You opened your heart long enough for God to land. And now that heaven has touched your name again, nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever be the same. And now, beloved, here we are. The final edge of this divine outpour. The wind around you isn't ordinary. The silence in your room isn't emptiness, it's glory settling into every crack of your atmosphere. Something has shifted. Something irreversible. You're no longer who you were before this message started. Heaven didn't just send words, it sent activation. Archangel Michael is still here, watching, protecting, radiating with joy because you stayed. Because you listened. Because your spirit knew. This wasn't just a message. This was a moment. A moment perfectly timed for your soul. A moment you'll look back on as the beginning of everything new. And now, all heaven is asking is this. Stay connected. Stay covered. Stay listening. These messages aren't random. They're lifelines. Heaven speaks through channels, through signs, through whispers in the night. And sometimes, through pages just like this one. Don't vanish after hearing this. Don't let this light dim again. The next word could carry your next miracle. Subscribe now. Not to a feed, but to your calling. To the voice of heaven. To the divine rhythm that's finally moving in your favor. Stay close. Stay open. Stay aligned. Because what's next will shake everything. And when it does, you won't need to shout. Your peace will be loud enough. Michael is smiling now. God is pleased. And your name is still on fire.